Feeling overwhelmed by the challenges of being a single parent? You are not alone. Welcome to Single Parent Reset, the podcast that helps you navigate the ups and downs of single parenthood and find the balance that you deserve. Whether you're a single parent, co-parent or solo parent, this is the show for you. I'm Orla and I'm a life coach for single parents and a single parent myself. I know how hard it can be, but I believe every single parent has the strength to create a life that they are proud of. For more information about me and the work that I do, please visit my website solascoaching.com. That is SOLAS coaching.com. In each episode of this podcast, we'll be shining a light on the unique struggles single parents face and cover the aspects of being a single parent that are often overlooked and left unspoken. I'll be sharing actionable steps to help you overcome these challenges and find more calm and fulfillment in your life. Single Parent Reset is your weekly opportunity to gain a fresh perspective, take back control, and feel more in charge of your journey. Before I start this week's episode, I just want to say a huge thanks for all the feedback so far and ask you to please follow, rate or review this podcast wherever you're listening to it. It really helps more single parents find this show. And if you have any questions for me or topics you want me to cover, please email me and let me know. The email address is in the show notes and I'd love to hear from you. Okay, so moving on to today's episode. A huge thing about becoming a single parent is the fact that all the plans that you made with your partner for how you're going to grow old together and build your life are suddenly gone. And rebuilding future plans for yourself now as a solo parent can feel incredibly daunting, as you may still be coming to terms with the fact that the life you were on track to live out is suddenly no more. Today, we're going to talk about learning to move through and let go of the plans from your old life that you may still be holding on to, and how to start envisaging a future that is more aligned to you and where you are now, rather than holding on to old plans that you dreamt up with someone you are no longer in a relationship with. What a lot of people really don't realise is the seismic shift that touches pretty much every aspect of your life when you become a single parent. It can be too easy for people to focus on the practicalities, such as the legal side of separation, co-parenting logistics, or supporting your children through the transition. But what many people do not consider is the fact that for many, by becoming a single parent means saying goodbye to a whole life. What often gets overlooked is the grief of letting go of a whole life you had planned. Not just the life you lived with your ex, but the life you had mapped out together for the years ahead. For everyone, this is going to look different. Maybe it was the second baby you're planning to have, the bigger house you and your partner were saving for, the family holidays you imagined taking every year, or the dream of retiring to France with your partner once your children are grown up. So when that relationship ends, you are not only saying goodbye to the life and the home you shared together, you are also saying goodbye to the life you had not even lived yet, a future that never got to happen. It can be incredibly hard to picture a new future for yourself when you're still coming to terms with the fact that you're no longer on the path you once envisioned for yourself. Today, we'll explore how to accept and let go of the life you once had planned for yourself and learn how to start shaping a new future for you. Some parts may look the same and some parts may surprise you how different they look. But what is important is that it is built by you, for you, on a foundation that truly reflects where you are now. I remember I was back in Dublin visiting my parents a while after my separation. I was at the point where the logistics had been ironed out and I was slowly moving myself on in this new strange life that was life as a single parent. And my parents in their house, they always have the radio on. It's just a background hum that's always in their house. And the station that they listen to, it's a mixture of music and also radio talk shows. My mum had been looking after my son one day whilst I worked from home. And that evening, while we were having dinner, my mum said that she listened to a really interesting show that was all about a topic that was interesting to me at the time, and I guess still is, breakups. And what she said was, it was the idea that they spoke about when you go through a breakup, It's not just the breakup and the person that you're breaking up from that you need to get over, but it's also the life that you had planned together, and it's grieving that. And that was it. That put into words exactly that weight I'd been carrying around and why this life event and change felt so monumental, because it literally was a life change. My whole future as I knew it had been completely wiped out, and that needed the time and space to be sat with, moved through and grieved. So by acknowledging that there's so much more than the emotions of a breakup to get over, but in fact a whole life, I could just feel my shoulders relax as I allowed myself to let the feelings come. As difficult as they felt, I knew by moving through these feelings and letting myself grieve that life I never had, I could start building a new life for myself. And that is what we're going to talk about today. The first step is taking time to look at what aspects of your life are you still holding on to from when you were still in a relationship. As I've mentioned, this will be different for everyone, and it can be as big as planning to move to another country or as small as finally going for a romantic birthday meal at that restaurant that has always been on your list. Think back to when you were with your partner. What were the plans you spoke about? And just as importantly, what were the unspoken plans that you both had assumed were in your future? Another way of figuring this out is look at, when do feelings of jealousy or envy crop up for you? Perhaps something has sparked a sense of loss because deep down you assumed it would also be part of your story, but now it's not. You could also look at what areas of your life are you struggling to make progress in, or are a source of stress since becoming a single parent. Perhaps these are linked to an old plan that you have not let go of and rewritten for yourself, which is why there is a block in moving forward or a sense of stress about it. Be really honest with yourself in this exploration. It can be difficult to admit to ourselves that some dreams may no longer be part of our future. It's common to feel we've failed our old selves by not seeing them through. But remember, you have not failed. You are evolving. Changing direction doesn't mean giving up. It means adapting to the reality of where you are now and making space for something new. So now moving on to grieving and letting go of these old plans you have identified. It's completely normal to look back at the goals you once shared with someone and feel a sense of loss. It's okay if you're struggling with this. Letting go of old plans and doing this type of reflection can be hard, as it can bring up a whole host of emotions from grief, frustration, even anger. And that's completely normal. But know it is okay to feel these feelings. Part of the process of releasing them is allowing yourself to take the time to really sit with these feelings rather than pushing them away. Accepting that those plans are no longer going to happen can be difficult, but it is such an important step. There are a few different exercises you may want to try to help you let go. You could write a letter to your past self, acknowledging the dreams you once had and gently say goodbye to them. Or you could try a simple visualization technique. Close your eyes and imagine yourself placing the old plan in a box. See yourself setting it down and walking forward towards something new. Or you could create just a small ritual, maybe lighting a candle and taking a few moments to reflect on what you're releasing. By taking this time to grieve that life you were hoping for and acknowledging the feelings that come up with this shift, you can move on to looking at what you want in your future going forward. So looking forward, once you've given yourself this permission to grieve, you can begin to shift your focus forward. A great question to ask yourself is, if I were designing my future now, based on who I am today, not who I was before, what would that look like? Take a moment to sit with that. Let go of this old framework you had, the plans that were built with someone else in mind, and allow yourself to dream freely. What excites you now? What feels expansive? What kind of life would truly fulfill you, not just as a parent, but as a person? You don't need to have all the answers right now. This isn't about figuring out how, it's about allowing yourself to see new possibilities exist. and maybe for the first time in a long time, giving yourself permission to explore what you actually want. Imagine yourself a few years from now. What kind of experiences do you want to have? What brings you joy? Who do you want to be? I know this might feel like a huge shift, and it's okay if it takes time. There's absolutely no rush here. But just beginning to entertain the idea that there is a future waiting for you, one that is shaped around who you are now, can be such a powerful step. And trust me, on the other side of this exploration, while it may feel impossible now, it is full of possibilities that you might even be able to see yet. Saying goodbye to and letting go of a life you had once planned for yourself can be one of the hardest things about becoming a single parent. By taking the time to reflect on and grieve the life you had planned for yourself, you can begin to move forward and start making new plans that better suit who you are today. So, what are you still holding on to from your past relationship that no longer fits your life today? And what's one small thing you can do right now to start letting go and redirecting that energy towards the future you want to build? Thank you so much for listening to this week's episode of Single Parent Reset. You have taken 15 minutes out of your day to do something for you, and that alone is a step in the right direction towards living a life you deserve. In the next episode, we're going to be talking all about being confident as a parent and in the parenting decisions you make every single day. If you're interested in working with me one-to-one, please go to my website solaccoaching.com for further details. And don't forget to follow my Instagram page @solaccoaching for more insightful content on living a life to be proud of as a single parent. As always, if you find this episode useful, please share with your friends and family. Remember, many single parents may seem like they have it all together, but this could be exactly what they need to help them move forward today.